Brought to you by Joe Dickey Electric. This, of course, is the South Range Coaches Corner with my good friend and one of the best coaches to ever walk the range. It is Coach Dan Yeagley. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
I'm wonderful. Like we always talk about when you pop on the call. We get to talk to each other. So
Oh, I
what's
know.
bad about that?
It's awesome, and it's Friday, and it's even better, and it's game day.
I gotta ask you, has it been different for you being retired from being a teacher and doing game prep?
You know what? It saves. It's actually a little bit more relaxing, a lot more relaxing, I should say. I get to sit there with Kelly and drink some coffee in the morning. And last night I got on some film time. I was talking to Coach Rock a little bit later than normal, and the little things like that we can do just because of I don't have to prepare lessons, don't have to prepare tests, and just doing some different things. So it works out. It's a lot more, like I said, a lot more relaxing. And whenever I can spend time with my beautiful wife, it's always a plus. So it's good. I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying prep time for football, and I'm enjoying this season because it's a lot of fun.
All right, so when you're breaking down X's and O's and defensive linemen, because I know that's what you love to break down, what's Kelly breaking down? Is she breaking down the quarterbacks drop
No,
steps?
she's giving me all the notes. I mean, she does all the work. She's been doing it a long time, so she knows what's going on. She understands the game, and
I love it.
She gives me all the insight. She does the game prep for me. So
I love it. I would love to see those notes. Those are probably the best notes in all of the Tri-County.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Coach, you have Niles this week, obviously undefeated to this point in the season. Niles can present some problems if you let him hang around in a football game. You've had that before. When you look at it, the storyline of this game is this is the last team to beat you in NE8 play. I mean, what are you telling the kids this week?
Well, we talked about that actually a little bit, just because of the sense that we're still trying to finish games. I mean, that's the important part of us. Period. That we start getting into games, we got to make sure that we finish them. You let teams hang around, and all of a sudden, here it is, the fourth quarter, and it's tied or something like that. And like a couple of years ago when we were playing Niles, all of a sudden it was overtime. We've got to learn how to finish games. And we talked about the Niles game a couple of years ago. We talked about finishing games and getting better and continue to improve on South Range, play South Range football and make sure that we're getting better. But, we got better last week, and that was our goal, and got better the week before that. We're progressing where we need to be, and a lot of that's because of practice, and the kids have bought into perfect practice. So we've been doing that and working on that mode. And like I said, Niles can give us problems. I mean, they got a very talented team and very well coached. Coach Perry does a great job. Year in and year out, and he has a great staff. I mean, my goodness, whenever you get Coach Kemp on staff, I mean, he's a good head coach, ex-head coach that knows the game, and his son. So, I mean, they're loaded staff-wise. And that Gardner kid, number 4, he's a very good running back for a young running back. He's only a sophomore, and last year gave us a little problem he was only a freshman. So we got our work cut out for us. We know we have to play well. We have to play well for 4 quarters and hopefully come out with a big win.
I like what you said there, finish strong, but the last week presented the only time, I believe this year, that you didn't start as fast as normal. I mean, it felt like Gerard was hanging around and really pushing you to your limits there in the first quarter of play. What did you see from Gerard that you were really impressed with, and things that you worked on this week in practice with your guys?
Gerard moved their front a little bit defensively, and it gave us a little bit of a different look that we weren't ready for, and just had to, settle down and get the things back in order and things that we needed to do. And again, look at that staff. I mean, Gerard's staff has, it's a great staff also, and look at their history. So we knew that they were going to come out and play well against us. We knew that it was going to be a good game, and we settled down, made a couple mistakes that we shouldn't have made, and got them corrected as the game went on, and I ended up playing well. And I think that we played a lot of kids last week, and that helped out a lot also because we were able to keep our kids fresh and ready to go, and end up picking up the physical factor a little bit because we started playing a little bit harder, and I think that helped a little bit also. So a lot of things went our way after that first quarter, and thank goodness, and we were able to come out with a big win last week, and we got to do the same thing this week. We got to come out and play physical and get after it against this Niles team.
So they talk about, there's no win that's ugly. They're not always pretty, but they're never ugly. When you look at yourself in the mirror as a South Range Raider at this point in the season, no losses to your record, is it more challenging as a coach to keep people and your coaching staff, your players, fans mentally prepared for the week at hand before they start kind of floating down into week 11 and week 10 for that matter?
No, we understand that this league is a very tough league. The NE8 is a great league filled with great coaches and great players, and we got to come every week and play our very best, and we know that. So, we're not looking ahead. We're not looking at, week 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or whatever. We're looking at, week 7. We're looking at Niles right now because that's a very important game for us, and we know if we got to continue to improve, and it's a chance to improve. You're playing against these good programs, that will prepare us for the future, and that's what we want to do. But we've been really focusing on ourselves, and our kids know that. We've been working on ourselves, working on making ourselves better, working on again improving South Range football and improving ourselves, and even coaching wise. We've been doing that a lot. It was nice. Like I said, I was talking to Coach Rock late last night, and we got better as the week went on defensively. And I know that yesterday was a good day for us, and we tried a couple different things, and the kids responded very well, and just a couple things we saw in film. So I think we're going in the right direction. We just got to make sure we play well tonight against them, and then we'll start preparing for the next one, not the future, but the next one. Because again, one game at a time, especially in this league, because you never know what can happen.
So a question I've always wanted to ask, and I may have kind of alluded to it before in years past, but is it more fun for you or more rewarding for you to watch your team on tape and break down your team? Or is it more fun to break down someone that, of the other teams that you're playing? I mean, that's always got to be crazy because people don't always realize you have to do both. Like you're watching your kids and what their challenges are and what you have to maintain and get better at, but you also have to watch what's coming into your stadium or what stadium you're going into.
There's a lot of film time, especially at South Range. I was talking to Coach Doc Reed this week about how blessed we are to be able to film practice and everything else. Like tonight after the game, I'll spend probably about 2-3 hours breaking down our game film, looking at that and seeing how we did. And I know our coaches will too, because then the kids come in Saturday morning and we'll watch the film together. And I want to be prepared to talk to them before we get together as a team. So then we'll spend it takes about 2.5 hours to get through, 2 hours to get through a game film on Saturday morning. So we'll get through that, and and then we film our own practice. We film practice. Monday we don't usually film, but Tuesday and Wednesday we film practice, and then we always spend time watching our practice. Like I said, we're trying to get ourselves better, and we're trying to improve on South Range football, and so we'll watch defensive film on Tuesday at the end of practice. We set aside time, and we have to do that because, like I said, we're trying to improve ourselves. And then we'll either watch Wednesday before practice or Wednesday at the end of practice. It changes depending on whether or not we're losing the turf with soccer games or junior high games or something like that. But, we'll watch ourselves quite a bit. But in the meantime, Monday is our film day where we watch our opponents. So we'll watch our opponents on Monday as a team, along with practice and everything else. And then we'll watch throughout the week. We'll throw some film with some clips here and there and try to watch that. But as a staff, we watch a ton of our opponent's film. We watch our film with the kids, and then we watch our opponent's film with the kids and by ourselves, and try to get everything broken down. So it's a lot of fun. We're we're film nuts. We love watching film and watch a lot of it. And like I said last night, I was still watching Niles to figure out what a couple little things that I had questions about, and we got those I think straightened around and ready to go for tonight. And like I said, love watching film because I think we can learn a lot from it without having to bang every week in and week out. So lots of fun.
I'm going to ask you the crazy question because I got to know how many hours, if you were to put on a number on it, a week of film do you watch?
More now than before because I got more time. It's fun. Even when technology is wonderful, it really is. And, even when I'm working on something else, I'll go a split screen and I'll be watching, like being you on the screen at the same time. I'll do a split screen and have film going at the same time, flipping back and forth, trying to multitask. I'm not as good at multitasking as my wife, but, I watch a lot of film and I can't even put a number on it. Can't even, I don't know. And some weeks is more than others just because of other things going on. But I just, like I said, practice film and everything else, and game film, our opponents' films. Some of it depends on how much film we have of our opponents, So, we watch a lot and break them all down. Huddle's been fantastic. And I know our kids, we also monitor how much our kids watch film. That's a huge part. I know that they watch it with us just in case, but studies come first. Obviously, schoolwork comes first, but we try to get them to watch a little bit of film. Matter of fact, that was my note to them last night before we left. I said, watch a little bit of film. Some of you are a little bit behind, and see what they're doing. You got to know your opponent. So,
how beneficial is that to be able to monitor how much time your kids are watching?
It's huge, and I know that football isn't everything. Like I said, schoolwork is very important. Time with their family is important. But when they're on their phone, I mean, they can sit. I know a lot of them. I get out of last period, they come back in the locker room with me, and they'll get on their phones and they'll watch film before practice, which is good. And so they log in some hours, and it shows. They know what's going on, and you also see the level of commitment. Even though sometimes kids just don't have time, and I understand that totally too. But that's why we make time in practice and everything else to watch it, and try to teach them how to watch film, not just to be sit there as an armchair quarterback and just try to watch film and try to watch the opponents properly.
Do you teach them from like a freshman up how to watch film properly and understand what's going on?
Well, you try. We try to sit some of them down, especially, but I think they watch us when we do film. When we watch film together, and it's funny because we'll break into groups when we watch film. We're fortunate enough and blessed enough to have multiple projectors going at the same time, so we can watch film in smaller groups. And then when you do that, you try to point things out. Look at this. This is what we're looking at. And the freshmen are with us at that time. The freshmen are with the seniors because we go by position groups. And so they start seeing what we're talking about, and hopefully they learn over the next couple of years what we're trying to accomplish by watching film, and hopefully they get better as they progress through the years.
We did have other stuff to talk about other than watching film, I promise you. But I love this because when I was in school, people thought that watching film was basically your day off from hitting and doing things of that nature. There was no watching film in any other sports, really. It was just football. But when you look at this, there is a purpose to each and every minute that you're watching film. And you really have showed the last 2 decades of Raiders how to get things going and understanding not only what's going on with their assignments, but why things are happening around them.
Yeah, we try to point out too. I mean, if we see something good that our opponent's doing on film, say this is what we're trying to do, this is what we're trying to accomplish, or this is what we're not trying to accomplish. So we use not just our film, but our opponent's film to try to teach our kids what we're trying to get out of South Range, and that's really been a blessing. And again, technology has been wonderful. Huddle's been fantastic. we film, like I said, we film every practice with the drone, so it's up in the air constantly. So we get, we'll get
You have
quite
like
a
the
few
Madden view, don't you? Like the Madden.
Oh
Everybody's
yes,
spread out.
we go up in the air and we get a good film almost straight down, a little bit of an angle so you can get the pass routes. But it's a great view and a great teaching tool. I mean, when you can start seeing feet, you can start seeing where your heads are, and you can start seeing routes. And filming on turf is even better because you got lines, numbers, hashes, you got everything. And I know our janitorial staff does a great job keeping our grass fields lined because we're on them some also. But filming on turf is a blessing. And like I said, we're trying to learn every day. And the state's limited a number of contact time, how much time we're allowed to bang in practice. And we don't bang a whole lot, like I said, but we film everything and try to get it from there. And our practices are long. We talk about that, and the kids don't get out of there for 3.5 hours, and that's a long time, but we're not practicing for 3.5 hours. That includes lifting time, conditioning time, film time. Everything's blocked off, and that's important to us, not just field time. So yeah, we practice a lot and we practice long hours, but we're trying to get everything in and educate the kids as we're going.
A young guy we're very proud of here. I know you are as well. Logan Cormel. This kid just continues to showcase his character and really starting to hear his name over that loudspeaker by Mr. Munson on Friday nights. Talk to me about Logan.
Logan's, we can talk about him as being an undersized guard because he's not very big, but he's a hard-nosed kid. He plays hard, plays very well, plays smart, and I'm just very proud of Logan. And especially the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of injuries, and we've moved Logan around defensively. And just because he's such a great athlete and has a great football mind, we're able to put him in different situations. Maybe what he may not like, but he understands what's best for the team. We've been moving him from a Will linebacker to a Sam linebacker, maybe even a little bit of Mike linebacker. We've been moving him around a little bit because of his football knowledge. And again, we talked about film earlier, his film time. He watches film. He understands our opponents and understands where he has to be in certain situations. And very coachable, understands. And like I said, I'm just very proud of him and his commitment to South Range football, Raider football, because, again, we're asking a kid who is comfortable, had a great 3 or 4 games playing our Will linebacker for us, and all of a sudden we bumped him out in our new scheme. We had to bump him out to Sam linebacker, and he's doing a great job there. And all of a sudden we've been moving another kid in at Sam linebacker. We'll bump him over to Will. So during a game, he's in multiple places and never misses a beat. And that's a testimony to him and how prepared he is week in and week out to play the game. And like I said, offensively, he's one of our pulling guards. He does a great job getting in the way and doing what his job or his responsibility is. Being undersized. This league has huge linemen, 300-pounders all the time, and all of a sudden here's this 175-pound guard or 180 pounds, whatever he just says he is during the weekend. And he gets after it. He fights with those big kids, and very tenacious, gets after it, and works hard. And like I said, he's plays on both sides of the ball 100% of the time. And like I said, he'll do whatever we ask without question, and knows what's best for the team. And he loves the game. My goodness. And also a great wrestler. I got to throw that in because he's a state qualifier wrestler for the last couple of years, and just a phenomenal wrestler and baseball player, just a great athlete. And it shows on the field on Friday nights for us.
You know what's crazy, Coach, is I could tell you, and every one of your kids practices humility like I've never seen. Humble is a word that has been used in South Range since you've been there, and you've been a big part of that. How do you teach humility to your players, or is it something that comes from the home, or is it a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm going to give credit to the home because the parents are a big part. We're with them a lot, and like I said, long hours during the day, and even during the summer and everything else. But we're blessed that these kids go home to great families, and they spend some time there. Humility is something that you try to teach. I know that it's taught in the school system. We try to teach it in football and try to teach it. I know the family tries to teach it. It's not about them, and they know that. It's about us. It's about the whole team, the whole school system. It's about the South Range Raiders, and you try to teach them. You try to say, and don't forget about your teammates. You don't forget about why we are successful. One person doesn't create a team. The old I. There's no I in team. It is a group effort. Our wins aren't because of one person. It's about the team, and and if we're going to win as a team, we're going to lose as a team. We're going to fight as a team week in and week out. And I think that's important for the kids to know that. And, I talk about, it's not about me. It's about, the whole team and my coaching staff and everything else. And you hope that they realize that it's not about them. It's about everybody.
I love it. All right. Finally, we are in October. It is the scariest month of the year. One of my least favorites, but everybody else seems to be like getting scared and facing their fears. So my question for you this week is, what fear do you have on the field, and what fear do you have off the field that people may not know about?
I don't know. On the field, I worry that I fear that somebody's going to get hurt. I mean, I love these kids to death, and I don't want to ever see anybody get hurt. And that's always a fear, because it is a very physical ball game, and even my players or the opponent's players, I never want to see that, and that's a big fear, because these kids put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it can always be stopped in a moment, and we know that, and the kids know that, unfortunately. But it's like I said, it's a tough game. So my fear is during a game is that somebody gets hurt, and I don't want that to happen. And the Lord has blessed us over and over again and taken care of us and kept us healthy. Personally, fear, I don't know. I just you go with the flow, and so I know some people are afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of heights. That doesn't bother me. And some people are afraid of snakes. I know my wife is, and I'm not afraid of snakes. So it doesn't bother me. I don't know. Maybe I can't think of a true fear. Maybe being alone. Maybe that might be it, because I love people, and I've been blessed with my wife Kelly and my family and my boys and their wives and grandkids, and I guess the biggest fear might be being alone, because I love the family, and I love my mom and dad and my in-laws and everybody else, and we have a close-knit family, and it's always a very special time when we can all get together. So I don't know, maybe that's it. I don't know. That's a tough one.
No worries, Coach. You always make it so sentimental. I love it, because I've had fun with this one, because I've got snakes, I've got heights, I've got some really off the wall ones this week. But yours, you're never gonna be alone, because everyone loves you. You are loved by literally everyone.
I don't know about that, but
well, maybe not your opponents all the time. Maybe they might not like you all the time, but just because you're usually on the right side of the scoreboard.
Well, even our dog Cooper's been trying to get on TV. So there's Cooper.
Coach, thank you so much for the time as well. We always appreciate it. Best of luck against Niles tonight, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
Oh, thank you so much. And DJ, like always, it's great talking to you, and I enjoy all that you've done. And congratulations, I heard 50. You got 50 schools now, and what a blessing. And that's a testimony to you and your staff, and how special you guys are, and how awesome you guys are doing, and so special. I mean, it's awesome. And thank you, and go Raiders.